Welcome back, my dark beings, to the Dark Void, ruled by me, now 51. And today we're back to basically for a while now, a random reaction. Yes, a random reaction. This is not WTF news, thankfully, but we're back to a random reaction. And I'm just letting you know, I've already seen this video on my off time, and I just want to rewatch this with you because in my head it makes no goddamn sense. It's up to this point. This video came I don't know, I think a few days back, or 2 or 3 days ago. My brain still trying to process this, so I decided, you know what, let's freaking watch this. And this just for reacting purposes. And I'm gonna say it's just hilarious to me how this is going on. I just can't. My brain just can't process it. It's about that they think this game is mocking their size. Forces devs to apologize for some reason. You'll see what I mean. Actually, I was surprised too, and I'll show you why I was surprised. So let's begin this video. Let's get started.
I'm generally not a fan of censorship, especially when it comes to video games. Most recently, we have been seeing payment processors essentially enacting their own will upon platforms like Steam, where they decided that they wouldn't allow their payment processors to be utilized in that platform,
which they're BS.
Move certain games, so on
they
and
can
so
go
forth.
Kiss my butt.
But the censorship we're seeing in this particular scenario is kind of just sad and a bit embarrassing.
It is.
In
Absolutely
the reason that it's happening. Let's first read this.
All right, here it is. Get ready.
The developers of
I will pause this a few times.
Stella
because
Stella Sora, for those who don't know, is this top-down action game
that you heard of this.
Features waifus and whatnot. It's
of course, pretty good game.
Mobile title.
Pretty good game.
I think it has gacha elements and whatnot. And recently, the developers of this game had to issue the following apology quote. And this is a translation from Korean to English, so it might not be the perfect translation, but it.
All right, let's see this.
Hello, Demon King. We have reviewed your opinions regarding the specific motion of the upcoming character that is currently raising issues. When they say motion here, they're referring to a scene or animation in the game. First, we sincerely apologize for any discomfort this scene has caused many of you Demon Kings. However, we would like to inform you that this motion, contrary to your concerns, is a scene created by an artist of foreign nationality and has absolutely no relation to any specific ideology.
Okay.
Stella Sora does not support any ideology in any way, nor does it attempt to project any specific ideology to the game. We're striving to ensure that the game remains a game that many users can enjoy. In addition, we're internally discussing this matter with the development team and reviewing follow-up response plans, including the possibility of revisions. We'll provide further details on specific response measures through a separate announcement at a later date. Reading this apology, you would think that something obscene made it into the game. Something just so taboo.
I say, what did they do?
Felt the need to speak out, and the developers had to come out and just really clarify that they do not support this, separating themselves from the artist by saying that they were a foreign nationality, so they didn't know the
foreign nationality,
so
the regular process.
You would think something truly awful made it into the game. So let's take a look at the scene in question. It's this right here.
Yes.
So let me ask you, just as someone who may not be familiar with the situation.
Now, before I continue, I'm going to pause there. So, if you know anything, if you know, you know. But to me, when I saw this, I was wondering, what are they getting upset about? And then I realized, oh, is it this? Is it this? Oh, obviously it's this. It's because of these. There's these two massive big old eyes right here. It's because of that. Those big old massive eyes. It's just, of course, it's one of those people that basically are upset about it. That, oh yeah, look at this, you can't have that or something. This is what I thought it was. These very nice, two voluptuous, big eyes right here. And this is what I thought. Oh, how I was wrong. I was so wrong. In fact, I was so wrong that I needed to get my brain back in order because of how the actual reason literally messed my brain up for a bit. In fact, my brain needed some time to process that, and it's still processing that to this day, because in my brain, it still doesn't work, because, like I said, I thought this was the reason. Oh no. It wasn't. Yongyea, take it away, and you're going to see why.
Do you see anything wrong?
I was just assuming the voluptuous right there.
Little bit of animation.
I just thought it was the the big eye section.
Understand what's wrong with this, because there is in fact nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, it is.
But certain subsects of the Korean male population would not agree with that assessment. Apparently, what became controversial is this right
Yes.
here. This part of the animation showing this.
Yes, this part that he's showing out, that he's freaking demonstrating. This is what I had. This is what my brain needed some time to process. And like I said, it's still trying to process. Well, I think it's finally processed, but still, I'm still trying to figure out why this is upset until you finally tell me the reason. And I have to say this is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. And it just, my brain could not process it. This is the reason. Like I said, I thought it was the big old freaking chest area that was people upset. No, it's this freaking thing right here. Makes no sense to me.
Hand position. So why has that garnered so much controversy? Well,
let's see.
A little history lesson.
And here it is. Get ready.
Back in 2015, there was this feminist movement that started in Korea called Yongyea, and their logo was basically this. And that's a logo that's basically trying to say, like, you have a small wee-wee, right? The thing about this particular feminist movement is that it is considered to be very radical and extreme. Many deem them to have gone too far with their methods, being very unproductive and
I never heard this.
Divisive with their tactics. Many would
never
argue
heard
that
this. This is
they're
the
more
first time hearing
infamous
it.
than famous, and by 2017, 2018, this movement had gone defunct. Now, something that came out of this Magali movement is
this pinching thing.
Finger pinching conspiracy theory, which originated in South Korea, and it claims that there's a deliberate plot to spread and promote misandry through symbolic hand gestures, and that radical feminist groups have propagated these hidden messages to humiliate men with small wee-wees. They believe that certain groups have infiltrated certain companies, certain media, certain
makes no sense.
Hide the message of trying to
like I said,
insult men with this hand gesture.
I said, this is the reason this whole thing is happening. Not this. Not this. Now, this, I can come up with any reason. Because, because idiots are idiots. But this, I couldn't come up with any reason in my brain why they would do this. Only because they're sad. And before I continue, I'm going to have to say this now. Actually, no, I'll wait until the end and I'll say that.
That's what this conspiracy is about.
Conspiracy, huh?
Popular in Korea, being made by Korean developers. When some Korean folks saw this hand gesture right here,
I guess
among a group of folks who believe in this finger pinching conspiracy theory.
So they believe. So I guess in South Korea they believe in the minority.
That Stella Sora
instead of
out
the majority.
With this statement, apologizing, almost acting as if the gravest sin has been committed, talking about how they don't support certain ideologies. Like, this is the kind of apology.
Man, you South Korean companies need to grow some apparel right now. Seriously,
like, it's insane. The level of apology they had to issue for this, basically an animation that happened to have in this specific moment. I mean, hand and fingers placed in a specific way where it resembles that hand signal, but isn't really that, because even when
so I have to say this now. Dude, everybody does the pinching motion. I mean, what about the people that later pinch kids on their cheeks? I mean, are you saying that's bad too? I mean, come on. At this point, we might seriously. When I started thinking this, I basically was thinking that, man, at this point, we're gonna get to the point where people can't even walk funny. When I say walk funny, I mean people have their own different walk versions. Because that's how they were born. And I'm starting to think that maybe at this point, people are gonna start making fun of people that walk like in different steps, because like I said, people have different forms of their bodies. So at this point, what else is gonna come next? Are we gonna like stop people from looking up in the sky or something? Are we gonna stop people from looking at like in a distance, like, oh, they're looking at far off distance, and people are gonna say, no, you can't do that. That's offensive to me because it makes me think you're looking at me. What? Wait, what else is next? Jeez. Man, everyone's getting mad over everything for no freaking reason.
I'm resting my hands. My fingers do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I do that too. It's on my mouse right now. I mean, I got it right now. My mouse is doing it right now. I like have my hand over my mouse and it looks like the pinching motion. I mean, literally everyone does this. Jeez, those people, the guys in South Korea, the people who are in South Korea, freaking are weird, man. What the heck?
So this is just something that happens when, you're going about your day to day. And in this scenario, it's just a character who's a little startled and they happen to have their hands in a very specific way that can happen. when you have this kind of reaction. Like, there was no deliberate effort for them to put this hand motion in as a way to tell men, hey, you have a small wee-wee. Not a single reasonable person would look at this and go, oh my God.
Yeah, not a reasonable person, and especially not a reasonable person. Yeah, in fact, I would think the people who would get upset about this are more reasonable. Wait, no, they're on the same boat. No reasonable person would see this. In fact, I'm a person that's reasonable enough to say this. This is the problem for people who don't like this. This, in my head, I was reasonable enough to think that this is the problem right here. That people are getting upset for this for no reason. Me, I like this. I like this right here, to see this. I thought this was the reason. As a reasonable person, I thought this was the problem. Because, you know, people get upset over seductiveness or basically girls showing off in video games or something. I thought this was the reason. Not this. Seriously. What is going on? What is happening?
Gosh, do you see that insult to men that they featured in the game? This wouldn't register in anyone else's mind.
Me either.
It didn't until they called it out as something that it wasn't. And the thing is, this not the first time we've seen something like this happen. There's this other game going by the title Goddess of Victory, Nikke, which
is a great game
called Shift Up, a Korean development studio who also created Stellar Blade. This game is like a third-person shooter RPG with, you know, waifu gacha elements as well. And recently they released this promotional artwork right here.
Hello, ladies.
Like, you might think to yourself, what's wrong with this one? I don't even see the...
I can tell you so many things that could be, that in my reasonable brain, can tell that for a person that literally doesn't like, you know, seductive ladies, this for in my reasonable brain, this is why people are getting upset about. The girls showing off their bodies right there. I mean, not intentionally showing off, but this. See this? See their bodies? This is what I would think they would be upset about. But get ready. They're gonna, if you can see it, why people are actually upset about it, yeah, you know. But yeah, I think we both know if you can see it.
Finger pinching hand gesture.
Yeah.
But what people saw was this right here.
Yes.
The finger pinching.
That. Not this right here. Not this over here. Not this freaking girl over here. The thing you would think actual people would be upset about, you know, the nut jobs that keep getting upset for girls, for seeing girls being shown off so much. No, not that. This is why. What is going on? Dude, like I said, my brain needed to process that for a bit. Man, can somebody get Asmongold on this? We need to get Asmongold to see this. Seriously, go get somebody go show Asmongold this. Unless he already made a video of that on it already. But somebody let Asmongold see this. So basically, I need to get his thoughts on this because I need to know what the heck is going on. I want to know how his brain is gonna work. I want to know if his brain works like everyone else, like, it's probably the chest area and everything. I was like, of course, it's the chest area. Look at that, it's right there. They're getting upset over that, and I want to see his reaction to say, like, huh? What do you mean? That is what people are upset about? What? So seriously, somebody tell Asmongold about this. Seriously.
Conspiracy theorists, they saw this hand motion right here, this hand position, and got mad about this because they believe that this right here is yet another example of the finger hand gesture being snuck in a game to try to insult men. Shortly after, the development studio Shift Up actually capitulated and
I have to say, for the companies over in South Korea, for shame to capitulate to the minority. I mean, seriously, I'm guessing over in South Korea, the minority have more power than majority. But still, come on. Seriously, the majority don't give an F. I mean, they don't give an F. No person would think that. But I guess they listen to the minority over there more than often than not. My God.
Updated the artwork so that the hand gesture isn't remotely close to a finger
doesn't look natural there anymore.
Even issued an apology statement.
It's that time again. Wayfair's Black Friday sale is back. Score up to 80% off everything home.
And here's the statement that
I'm gonna say this now. I find the Nikke have this funny. Is the account that Nikke is about you looking at girls' freaking, basically it's considered a butt game because if you play it, yeah, literally the breaking girls are being booty shaking right there every time they fire a freaking weapon, and yet they're issuing an apology on this one. Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. What is going on? What is happening to our world?
Released to apologize to the folks,
Which is why I say it's a fallen society.
who got pissed off at this. And this is also a translation from Korean to English, so it might not be a perfect translation, but you get the message here. Quote, "Hello, I'm Nike, the goddess of victory. First, regarding some of the resources released on Wednesday, July 30th, I sincerely apologize to the commander for any inconvenience and misunderstanding.
What do you mean, what do you
Currently,
mean
the
apologize?
resources available after the initial report is received. We're working on immediate verification and correction. There was some delay in resource replacement and guidance during the detailed review process. This resource was created by overseas outsourcing company we're collaborating with. There was no hateful expression or intention during the production process. I ask for your generous understanding." It's the exact same excuse that was used by the development team of Stella Sora. This artist was from a foreign nation. They didn't know what they were doing. And not only is it clear with this artwork that there was no intent to intentionally include the finger pinching motion.
Like I said,
hand pose doesn't even resemble the
doesn't.
finger pinching
That's
motion.
just
I don't
you
know
go
how
on
you
the
can
bed.
look at this and say,
That's just on the bed motion. What?
That man have small wee-wees. Like, how insecure do you have to be to reach that far to see
exactly
the finger pinching motion?
I have to say is, if you're that insecure about that, then you need some freaking help. What the heck? You need help. Really, legitimate help. I mean, at that point, if you're that desperate to look at that, then I'm gonna say this right now, that you people really have small ones. I'm just saying, if you're that desperate to find any excuse to use that, to say that, the pinching motion's the thing to demonstrate that you have a small weeby, I have to say this right now, you're probably the ones that have a small one. And I'm using the pinching motion right now. I'm using it right now. I'm using both of my hands right now. Pinch, 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 pinch. I'm a crab right now. Pinch, 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 pinch. I'm a crab. Crab. Wait, does that mean they're going to go after crabs now? I mean, because crabs also use a pinching motion with their pincers. Does that mean they're going to go after animals? What about that one? Actually, somebody make a game about crab. Actually, we do have games about crabs. It's called Crab Game. So, where's your excuse there? Oh, it's probably because they're animals, but even still. But seriously, the fact that people are getting upset with us, and also, Lex, once again, yeah, like I said, you all have small weebies right now. You all have small weebies. Because if you're that desperate to find an excuse to say that pinching demonstrates the smallness of a guy, then you are probably the ones that have the small ones. Pinch, 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 pinch. Continue on.
In this. And then back in 2024, Maple Story faced a similar controversy.
Maple Story, huh?
Because of this artwork right here of this girl who has this kind of praying hand motion. But if you zoom in, you can see that there's this thing that kind of looks like a finger pinching motion. So they had to change it to something that didn't quite resemble that and apologize and whatnot. But that's actually what it looks like.
Yes.
You know,
that's what... Dude, it seems these people are trying to ignore biology. Are these people trying to ignore biology? Because we do that too. I'm doing it right now. It's called interlocking, right? It's called interlocking. Our fingers. I mean, look at this. I'm interlocking right now. I mean, at this point, what else? Like I said, at this point, what else are they trying to freaking censor here? Is this WTF News or reaction? I don't give an F.
Weren't intentionally.
No, this just reaction
to insult men. That's not just what that hand motion looks like if you do it in real life. And this is the first time I'm learning about any of this. I had no idea this was a thing, but yeah, it is apparently a thing. And scrolling down this Wikipedia page, you'll find tons of instances where companies had to...
I am so desperate to... Do you know what? I might go to Stellasauro's site and just put the pinching motion on it. Like beyond belief, just to see what would happen, because I need to do that. I need to do that. Seriously.
Issue statements or respond to backlash of people believing that, there's a conspiracy to ensure that the finger pinching motion makes it in media so that, men can be...
Do you know how it's hilarious that nobody's heard about this in the world? I feel like nobody's heard about this, as far as I know. It was until they called it out. Dude, trust me. And the reason why is because they know they can get away with it in their own country. They know that they can get away with it. If they tried to go anywhere else outside the country, they would get backlash beyond belief. They would get destroyed. They would literally get attacked by every single person that literally is just gonna call them out on their BS and say, "What the heck is wrong with you?" I mean, on their hilarious BS, because they are trying to censor a game because, oh, it's the pinching. Even though, like, literally a person with a reasonable brain will literally say, no, that's just how human biology works. I mean, somebody could be just laying their hands and just happen to do a pinching. I mean, seriously. No, there's people that do the insult, but in the end of the day, it's just a natural state whenever you put your hand down. I mean, I'm putting my hand down now, and I can see my hand doing the pinching motion unintentionally. And I can tell you this why that they know that in South Korea, they know they can only do this in their own country. They know. They're smart enough, hilariously enough, to know that if they tried to do this outside of their country, they would just get attacked by every single person around the world. Because everybody around the world would know that, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? Are you serious? Now, there probably are some few dumb people that will accept this and say, oh, yeah, I support that. But no, in the majority of us would literally be pissed off at that. I mean, it'd be hilarious. That's why they're doing it. They know in their own country, but they're doing it. But it was hilarious since now this is blowing up. It's going to be a matter of time before the majority of the world is going to look at these games and say, are you seriously going to be bad? But these companies are probably going to get backlash and say, are you serious? No, we don't care. We do have brains to look at this. And trust me, it won't take long before these companies decide to reverse the decision and put the pinching motions back in the games. Trust me. When the freaking this starts blowing out even more, the majority will have more power than the minority. Because there's no way that these companies are going to be able to basically, these minorities are going to have any power. The minority of these pinching people are going to have any power. In fact, they'll be drowned out every time they basically try to tag a game or something. Continue on.
Defamed and men with small wee-wees are humiliated or something. It's insane. And there's a long history of this going all the way back to 2021. Like, this marketing material from Apple made headlines in Korea because people saw this, pinching gesture that was used to emphasize the thinness of the phone as a conspiracy to try to insult men.
My brain was still trying. Throughout this video,
that hand I was trying to think. Appears people have gone out of their way to criticize and to ensure that there is this huge backlash against that company. And a lot of companies have capitulated either by apologizing in a statement or by editing their gesture so it less resembles the finger pinching motion. Like, throughout the history of gaming, I've seen a lot of censorship cases.
I've seen a lot of idiotic censorship.
It has to be the most non-issue
of
reason to censor a game I've ever seen. And, it's not like the biggest deal in the world. It's just changing a hand gesture, I guess. But the fact that this is an issue at all is insane to me. Like, this position of the hand.
I'm going to say this now. It's not a big issue, but think about it. If this is not an issue, but think about what happened if people start thinking that, they got away with this. I wonder how much I can get away with. Trust me, it's something like this, the pinching thing, starts out small and then starts spreading around to start infecting other things. Trust me. When you start seeing multiple things getting censored for no reason other than just existing, to trust me. Remember this day. Remember this freaking pinching motion. That's probably where it started. Continue on.
And the fingers is used for so many things beyond just an insult. And I mean, this situation has gone viral with
see this?
Tweeting people reporting on this and saying things like Korean men are genuinely mentally ill on a scale seen nowhere else on earth. Here's another Twitter user retweeting this and saying Korean men are such massive pussies, bro. Oh my god, LMAO. And garnering millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes. Even games industry veterans and researchers like Doc Ma chimed in saying, here's a wiki article on how insane this conspiracy theory is. So many Korean games have had to apologize to men because they think it's a real thing. As a man of Korean origin and ethnicity,
take this as advice. Take this.
Very clearly emphasize that these men do not represent Koreans. Like these
There we go.
give Korea a bad rap.
All right,
They
see
do
that?
not speak
Right
for
there.
all of us. No matter who you are, if you want to use this hand gesture or anything resembling it in any
doing it
way,
right
shape,
now.
or form,
Pinch,
please,
pinch, pinch.
by all means, do it.
I'm using
I don't
it.
give a shit. And neither should
use it
the
for
rest
distance.
of the world and this specific.
I use it for distance. Like, oh look how big the tower is. Look, I'm pinching it with my 2 fingers. It's between my 2 fingers. Pinch, 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 pinch. It's amazing. Yeah, I can do that. Seriously. Man, somebody put. I gotta go to the still store and see how many. If there's any pictures of people doing the pinching motion, because if there is, oh my god.
Sector of Korean men, and that goes doubly true when it's very clear that there was no intentional.
Yeah, there's no
to,
intent.
like
This
hand gesture and
this
insult to
is what I
anyone.
thought.
It just happens to be that the hand and the fingers happen to be that way for this specific animation. Same with this artwork right here from Goddess of Victory Nikkei. It just happened to be that the hand happened to be
once again
in this position because it makes sense for it to be
pause
like
right
that
there.
in this position, and this one doesn't even
That's
resemble
not the
pinching
reason.
motion at all. And
The
with
hand.
situations like
The
this
hand
Apple
is
one,
all.
clearly the intent was to emphasize something different other than your wee-wee. It was intended to emphasize the thinness of this product. And you've got other situations like these ones where, you do the pinching motion to grab things sometimes, and that's what's emphasized here. It has nothing to do with your family jewels. Anyway, this caught my attention because I had no idea this whole conspiracy was it.
I actually saw a thumbnail at one point in time, like, wandering around the internet for a bit, and saw a thumbnail. I was like, what, this motion got somebody in, like, basically in trouble, got Nikkei in trouble. Which, what the heck? Hand motion? What the heck is Doc talking about? This basically so what this, when I found this out, I think, oh, that makes total sense, but it also makes no sense at the same time. This makes no sense. Like I said before, if you're literally basically in South Korea, if you're a guy and you're saying that pinching is something that discriminates the small wee-wee, a guy's small wee-wee, then you are probably the one that has a small one. I'm just saying, if you're that desperate to freaking say that pinching demonstrates a small wee-wee, you're probably the one that has a small one. Probably smaller, since you're basically saying the pinching is small thing. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, I think the pinching motion should be like, the 2 fingers should be touching now for those people. Because those guys basically are saying that pinching is basically showing a small wee-wee. But I think it should show the 2 fingers touching for the guys that are trying to say this is basically a small wee-wee. And I'll say this right now, my 2 fingers are touching, and you guys in South Korea who are sensitive about this, yeah, my fingers are touching, and that's your wee-wees. Touch, touch, touch. My fingers are touching. I'm just saying.
And I didn't know that video games garnered a level of backlash from that conspiracy
I don't know, man.
to the point where they have to issue apologies and actually change things that don't need to be changed. And the changes
hopefully it's just in South Korea. Like, these companies are in South Korea, so you can make the excuse then, but then well, you can't even still, because it's worldwide. Some of these companies get worldwide. But even still, but if other countries start doing that as well, trust me, everyone's going to start losing it, and they're basically going to start, and you're going to see a whole bunch of new stuff happening. Trust me, this makes no sense to me.
Themselves don't impact the game in any tremendous way, but the fact that any of this has to happen at all, I think, is just nefarious.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. This is something that has made the rounds in the gaming realm on the internet, so it's just something that I wanted to highlight and just express my opinion.
I just want to react to this.
That's everything you need to know about this whole situation. I'd love.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna end it here because about to end it, but oh my god, seriously, I just wanted to react with this with you guys, because literally my brain could not process that. As I said, I thought it was the chest area when I paused the video when I was on my calls and say, oh, of course it's on the chest area, it makes sense. And I was even talking to myself, I said, yeah, let's look at that, this everything, until I said, wait, what? Until he said, no, it's the finger pinching. What? Wait, what? It's not the two big, it's not the chest area, the 2 wonderful big chests right here. It's the finger pinching? Excuse me? Like, what? Yeah, so I just want to react with this for you guys. And you let me know in the comments what you think about this situation. Because obviously you're not with this. Because what in the heck is wrong with the guys in South Korea? Seriously. So sensitive. Oh my god. Seriously. Seriously, what is going on? I mean, that's why I'm wondering, what's hilarious? And this, basically, I was thinking in my head that sooner or later we're gonna start getting people are gonna get upset about people walking funny because some people have like different walk animations in real life. I did not expect that this might come true because now with pinching, who knows what else? I mean, you can't even raise your hand up in the air anymore without somebody saying that you're a freaking, one of them. Without you're a freaking German soldier of World War WW2. You can't even raise your hand up in the air to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Because people would just think that. I mean, it's getting out of control. We can't even move our bodies around anymore in a certain motion. What is happening? What is going on? Either way, what you think about this situation? Do you find it completely hilarious and completely idiotic? Because I do. Because this just doesn't make any sense. And I sure as heck know, I'm not going to ask you if you support this because I know none of you support this. Because this is just idiotic. Beyond belief. And it's just idiotic. Oh my gosh. And my gosh. And also, do you agree with me that the guys in South Korea, the guys that live in South Korea, do you think that they're making little weebies are based that pinching motion should be touching, two fingers touching now because they're the ones calling out. So their freaking weebies are basically two fingers touching. What do you think? Do you think of that? Because obviously all of us just put our hands down and that's how it looks like. Also, before I called it out, let me know. Did you think it was the chest area too that they were getting upset about? Was it the chest area? Tell me, did you think that as well? Or were you smart enough to see there was the hand motion? Let me know in the comments. I need to know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. Comment, subscribe down below if you enjoyed this video. This weird thing. Also, don't forget to press the black bell. Oh, wait. And also like and share the video to spread my influence around. Glaze and Aaron to help my influence grow. Also, you had no other choice but to join my dog company. You got no choice. Seriously. If you had a choice, you're wrong. Also, don't forget to press the black bell button to be notified when my videos pop up. Because, I said to forget. Younger Stevie takes goes to play his game. And also, YouTube channel doesn't bother announcing my channel at all. And make sure you check the black bell button. I mean, your profiles. There's a restricted mode on here, and and check your profiles because if the restricted mode is on, it would actually remove my videos from your feed. So make sure you turn that on. All right, that's about it. And right now, this still doesn't make no sense to my brain. Right now, my dog means dismissed.